Hey, welcome back to our planner review series. Today I'm excited to take a deep dive into the LivingWell planner. Now, this was not a planner I was familiar with. One of the students in my top program asked if I would take a look at this planner, so I dove in. And what I was really excited to see, which I've not yet seen on any of the other planners that I've reviewed, is that on their website you can actually click through a 3D experience of looking at the planner. So that is exactly what I did, so I could see every single aspect of the planner. So the first thing I want to do is kind of cover, what I was able to capture in terms of what the planner promises, who it's marketed towards, and kind of what they're going after. So I'm actually going to read a couple of quotes to you that I found on their website. So right out of the gate, it advertises that the LivingWell planner isn't just a pretty planner, it's the proven system you need to get organized, stay focused, and finally learn to make your own goals a priority again. Then in big letters, it says, organize your whole life. Now, that is definitely a big promise to fill, right? That one planner is going to organize your whole life, not plan, but actually organize your whole life. Now, when I kind of zeroed in a little bit more on who does their marketing attract, here is what they share again. No other planner is designed to help you take control of your schedule, get a handle on your finances, plan your meals, and crush your goals all in the same place. So they're promising schedule, finances, and meals and goals. Whether you are a working professional, a stay-at-home mom, a motivated college student, or even a small business owner, the LivingWell planner is designed to help you easily manage all the pieces of your busy life, not just your schedule. So this is definitely a planner that is promising more than just the scheduling. I'll be honest, to me, that's always a bit of a red flag that one little planner is supposed to be able to do all of that. Now, when you look at the options of the planner, there are no size options. It comes, the standard size is 7.5 by 9.5 inches, which is a nice standard good size planner. And there are no layout options because they come with a planning system, which is always a big thumbs up for me. So the LivingWell planner is what it is because they provide the system that goes along with it. Now, you can get different colors. I think right now they maybe have 5 different themes and colors with it, but the layout is what it is. And it comes coil bound, which means you can fold it backwards, lay it flat, all of that. And I will say it is very visually appealing. They've done a beautiful job in the colors and designs and the way that the planner looks. All right, so first let's look just big picture, what all is included in the LivingWell planner. Well, at the beginning, there's a series of intro pages where they kind of give you the history of the planner. They give you a brief overview of how the planner is intended to be used, which again, I always give a big thumbs up on. Then there's a section for goal setting. Then there is a little area for the year review, and all of that is at the front end of the planner. Then it comes into your monthly and weekly flow. So in each month, it has an area for goal, creating your goal, mapping that out, giving you your month at a glance, the monthly spread, an area for budget, an area for expense, and then an area for thoughts and thanks. So that comes within every month. And then it has the weekly layouts. So it just kind of repeats that monthly and weekly layout. And now let's go ahead and take a deep dive into each one of those to kind of really, net out how this all works together. All right, so let's jump into this LivingWell planner. So it opens with an overview. And again, I always love seeing when there's thought and intentionality behind the planner itself. So they give you some instructions and recommendations in terms of how much time you should spend each month and each week thinking about your goals. And they really do talk about prioritizing it. One thing that stuck out to me I thought was interesting is it said when you're sitting down to do your plan for the week, make sure you block out at least 1 hour a day to work on your goal. I love the intention behind this, which is to prioritize time for yourself to make sure that you're making progress on your goals. But I think to make that blanket statement that every day should have 1 hour towards your goal is going to be challenging. We don't always have days where we can do that. So I would love to see some other tips and techniques and strategies shared there, but I do love the fact that they are prioritizing this. And it's interesting because in all the marketing material, they talk about how this also does meal planning. Well, when you read the instructions, it just says hey, during your weekly planning, jot down what your meal plan's going to be and a list for groceries. But they don't really have that captured anywhere specifically in the planner. So it's just more reminding you to think about it. So I'm not sure I would advertise that it actually does meal planning. Another part of the overview is they're encouraging you to block out time each month for budgeting per month. I'm going to save my thoughts on that till we get to the actual budget and expense pages, which come inside of each month. The next section, kind of at the front end of the planner, is the area for long-term goals and do it scared. There's a one-pager spread here for you, and it's got great prompts to get you really thinking about reconnecting with those goals, dreams, and desires. But I feel like if you have not had a lot of background or coaching and training on how to do that, you might get stuck a little bit. And just having that that 2-page spread or 1-page open spread to be able to do all of that work is, I just don't feel like it's enough. But again, I love that they are including that here in the planner to, again, illustrate how important it is that we're marrying all aspects of our life and we're not just focused on the task list and what I have to get done, right? The next spread, they're a place for you to capture important dates for the year and important information. I love the important dates, but the important information, when you look at what they're asking you to write in, it includes things like credit card balances and doctors' phone numbers. I just don't see anyone actually putting that in a planner. I think that was, yes, something we all did 20 years ago, but with technology and all of that today, I would have loved to have just seen the important dates spread out over 2 pages instead. Just seemed a little unusual in our day of technology. And then there is a year at a glance, which is the 2-page spread for you capturing kind of the big things going on of the year. I love that. I think more planners need to have that. And so I loved seeing that they have that in there. Now, that's kind of all the stuff up front. Now we shift into what do they have on the monthly level and what do they have on the weekly level. And what's interesting is it's kind of split. So when you start at the beginning of a new month, there's some monthly prep pages, then your weekly layouts, then there's some stuff at the end of the month. So I thought that was an interesting, I'm not really gonna say I like it or dislike it, just an unusual way of looking at it. So the monthly pages at the beginning of each month, that has an area for you to write down your monthly goals. And then, as I don't know where this infatuation with the number 3 is, but here's the big 3 things I'm focused on this month. I don't know why everyone is always saying you got to have 3 things or your big 3 for the day or whatever. There might only be 1. You might be working on 2. Maybe there's 4 things. Who the heck knows? So I never understand that. And then the up front of the monthly goals, it has you breaking down 6 categories of goals, like personal, finance, health, all of that. And then a place where it says my 1 big goal. So I find this really, really confusing. So you've got the big 3, but then you've got the biggest one, and then you have these other 6 categories. So I think that this would lead someone to just get a little overwhelmed with what exactly to put here, and they may just not put anything at all. Now, the next page is the goal crushing and project planning page. I love the layout of these pages. So the goal crushing page does a really good job of guiding you through taking your goal and then getting it into actionable steps. But again, there's 1 per month. So it's almost implying that each month you need to set 1 goal that can actually be done within that month. And so I think that is very, creates some limits around maybe you're working on multiple things, and maybe it's a goal that needs to span 6 months and not just accomplished in that given month. But I do love the thought process and the layout for actually breaking down the goal. I almost wish that it wasn't attached at a monthly level and maybe was, pages up at the beginning of the planner instead. And then again, same with the project planning page. Great page, but having a project per month, I just feel isn't extremely realistic in the flow of everyday life. Then we move right into the standard month at a glance. Great page, very standard grid. This is an undated planner, which I always, I love. It gives you the flexibility. You can start using it at any time and you're not worried about, I missed out on a month or something. So month at a glance, standard month at a glance page, just fine. And then we jump into the weekly pages. I'm going to pause on that because I want to kind of cover all the monthly pages first. So after all of your weekly planning pages, they have an area for budget. And there's a spread for your monthly budget where you're supposed to track your plans versus your actuals, and then another page to write down all of your monthly expenses. Unless you are, maybe this would be good for someone just starting out or a college student, but I think when they advertise that this is for, all stages of life, I don't know too many people that really can track and plan budgets, expenses, etc. on paper in a planner. And maybe they wouldn't want to have all of that on a planner in case it gets, misplaced or stolen or something there. The categories of expenses, again, it's pretty comprehensive, but it wouldn't fit for everybody. And a lot of people prefer to do budgeting at a more of an annual basis, right? And so I was struggling to figure out, my partner and I, my husband and I, we do all of our budgeting and everything using Excel and other online tools. And it's nice because you can break it down into an annual or monthly, all of that. And doing this on paper, I would just be surprised on who would find this honestly extremely useful. Now, if you're just getting started in a business and maybe you want to track your businesses, as you're building it out, I could see maybe the budget and expense pages working well for a small, maybe side business, or again, someone in college or first year out of college, you're trying to get your head around budgeting and figuring out where your monies are going, etc. But I don't know if I would advertise like, hey, this is a planner that organizes all of that. There is a page at the end of every month that I love, which is the thoughts and thanks. So I include something similar in my planner where you're just wanting to reflect on the last month and think about your wins. Now, the weekly layout pages, again, great layout. It's got the weeks in the columns, it's got the times, it's got all 7 days. I love all of that. Underneath there, again, the 3 must-dos each day. I really don't like when planners try and force on you any set numbers of must-dos, want-tos, or whatever, because we don't know. Everybody's life is so different. Some days I'm not working on any top priority stuff, and I don't want to feel like I failed because I didn't, when maybe that's what I planned for. So the only thing that I would shift maybe on those weekly layout pages is maybe get rid of that space and instead give more space for the planning, because it is kind of small. So you will need to write small in there, but I could certainly make that weekly layout work for myself. I would just repurpose those 3 must-dos for something else probably instead. So that's kind of the deep dive into all the pages and layouts of the planner. All right, so now let's kind of give a brief recap and my overall thoughts on would I recommend this planner, would I not? When I think about what I love about the planner, again, it's beautiful. I love the color. I love the layout or the pattern options that they have. It's really appealing. I love the coil bound. I love the undated nature of it so that you're not limited to potentially when you would want to start using this particular planner. I love the year at a glance. And a lot of great thought was put into trying to coach and train people how to take a goal, break it down into an action plan. Another great feature that you get with this planner, now granted, I haven't looked at the content that comes with it, but they do, when you purchase the planner, you also get what they call their boot camp, which is an email series where every day they're going to be sending you an email with instructions on how to use the planner. I know that's one of the things I offer as well with my planner is you get video courses on how to use the planner when you've invested in it. Because if you've put a lot of thought into the design, as they clearly have here with the LivingWell planner, I love that they are going the extra mile to teach people how to use it. So those are all things that I give a huge thumbs up on here with the planner. The areas where I think it falls just a teeny bit short is, again, their mapping of this. You have one goal per month, one project per month. That isn't always very realistic in our lives, right? I know a lot of the goals I'm working on are ones that will span multiple months, or maybe it starts mid-month and goes out for 2.5 months, right? And I'm not always doing a big project every month either. So I think I would like to see the flexibility of having those pages maybe be pulled out of the per month and have them be a little bit more flexible there. And again, the budgeting and expensing, I'm not sure that for most people, particularly the women that I work with, that's going to necessarily be a great fit unless maybe you're using it for business planning. So I feel that the marketing that they give of organize your whole life is stretching it a little bit. And I think it's probably what's drawing a lot of people in. But I will say this, from having a planner that would work with doing very intentional, thoughtful weekly planning to help keep you from getting overbooked and overscheduled and help keeping you focused on the right things, I would definitely say that the LivingWell planner is one that could work very well for you. Just know that maybe stepping into it, I wouldn't step into it with the mindset of this is going to organize my entire life. But this is definitely a planner that if someone came to me and said, I like this planner, I'm currently using it, what are your thoughts on me continuing to do it as I learn how to master the really powerful ways that I teach weekly and monthly planning? I would say, hey, if you're using this planner and you love it, keep doing it, because I don't see it creating any problems.